Hey guys, it's Zach here, and today I'm excited to announce that we're looking at our first 88 Films Kung Fu release under Region A. It's so awesome that 88 Films is finally breaking into the US market, and I can't wait to see what releases they start putting out. Today, we get to check out The Chinese Boxer, aka The Hammer of God. From the incredible mind of Jimmy Wang Yu, The Chinese Boxer is a 1970 kung fu film produced by the Shaw brothers and starring Wang Yu himself. It's widely considered the first major kung fu film release historically, as up until this point, martial arts films primarily ran within the broad wuxia genre. Wang Yu is a pioneer in what would become a boom of kung fu flicks in the 70s, and this film is a great kickoff. Before we get into the 88 Films release, let's take a look at the story. Being one of the earliest non-wuxia kung fu films, The Chinese Boxer has a simple premise, from which you might spot many scenes or setups that would go on to become cliches within the genre. Revenge stories, foreign fighters coming to challenge the school, and the ever-so-infamous setting of a tea house for when you need a good fight scene. To set our story, The Chinese Boxer takes place in a small town, with our focus on the local martial arts school. One day, a judo expert shows up to challenge the master, with the intent of toppling the school and turning it into a gambling den. After beating up nearly every student, the school's master shows up to dole out justice. In defeat, the man vows to return, saying he'll be bringing some karate masters with him. This scene sparks the conflict for our story, as our protagonist Lei Ming, played by director Jimmy Wang Yu, is introduced as one of the senior students. After some time has passed, our gangster finally returns with Japanese fighters in tow. They brutally slaughter nearly every person at the school. However, our lead miraculously survives and vows to take revenge. He remembers some advice the master had shared on how to defeat karate, thus beginning his training to become the ultimate kung fu fighter and bring justice to the gangsters that now plague his town. Overall, this film is a fantastic intro into the kung fu genre. Not only is it an early iteration of the film style, but it hits so many of those needed notes perfectly. The fighting is raw yet fast-paced, each one more intense than the last, with all the sound effects and gratuitous blood you could want. You can feel the weight of each killing blow, and Wang Yu's style definitely shows the influence that it would eventually have for other filmmakers such as Bruce Lee and Quentin Tarantino. Our story is simple yet effective. You care enough about Lei Ming and the tragedy he faces to feel that adrenaline pumping whenever he's in danger. The film has a great variety of environments and sets to make each fight scene unique. Whether they're fighting in a tea house hand-to-hand or out in the snow with swords, it's a great time altogether. This film is a must-see for any fan of kung fu cinema, and its place within the genre is solidified as a classic. Check it out if you haven't already, and even if you have, maybe it's time for that rewatch. For now, let's go take a look at our Blu-ray release. Here we are with 88 Films' release of The Chinese Boxer. Adorned in a matte slipcover, our case features artwork from Kung Fu Bob, always a welcome artist for these Eastern releases. Of course, all of our release information is on the back, and underneath is our full-size clear case. If we open it up, we get our single disc on the right, and a couple of paper bonuses here on the left. The sleeve here is reversible, featuring the original poster work on the opposite side. Though I will almost always pick Kung Fu Bob's newly commissioned artwork, as I just love his art style. Moving back over to our physical inclusions, we have a booklet running at 24 pages cover to cover. It features a single article by Andrew Graves, in which he analyzes the influence in cinema that the Chinese Boxer has had. As Graves moves through the story, he relates different scenes and characters with other film examples that followed. A nice example of the under-recognized influence that Jimmy Wang Yu has had in the film industry. On top of that, the pages are interwoven with various shots from the film. Rounding out the physical aspect of this release, we have our fold-out poster. It's a nice thick material, and just like the sleeve, it features the new and old artwork on each side respectively. With that covered, however, we can go ahead and jump into our Blu-ray disc, so let's go see what all is included alongside the film. 88 Films presents The Chinese Boxer with an HD remaster from the original 35mm negatives. We have the options for either the English or Mandarin dubbing, as well as an audio commentary track with film journalist and writer Sam Deegan. Her discussion is extremely informative, and she is non-stop with her commentary on Wang Yu's career and the particulars of this film within the industry. For those who feel that Jimmy Wang Yu was overshadowed by Bruce Lee's success, Deegan's commentary will bring you up to speed on his influence on the genre from here on out. A fantastic commentary track, this is the first one from Sam Deegan that I've heard, and I can't wait to hear her discussions in other kung fu releases. With the feature presentation aside, we can take a look at our included video supplements. Our major bonus feature here is a pair of interviews. The first is a 17-minute discussion hosted by David West, titled Open Hand Combat. In this video, West discusses many aspects of the Chinese boxer and its greater genre. He talks about 60s and 70s Eastern cinema and how the differing martial arts film genres were spread throughout Asia at this time. From standard wuxia to differing hand-to-hand styles, there were all sorts of martial arts scenes across the industry. West emphasizes Wang Yu's influence in this world and goes on to focus on the kung fu boom and the specifics surrounding the Chinese boxer in particular. A fantastic companion for the film and definitely worth the watch. The second interview, included on the disc, is titled Wang Qing at Sha. It runs a bit over 13 minutes and features actor and stuntman Wang Qing. He talks about working in action films and in the stuntman industry as a whole, from having to learn different practices and stunts alongside a film's production to the changes they had to adapt to as swordplay waned and kung fu boomed in the 70s. This interview doesn't necessarily add anything new to the Chinese boxer in particular, but it's still a nice piece of archival material to have for any fan of kung fu cinema. From here, we round out the release with a handful of trailers for the film. We get 4 in total, including Hong Kong and English theatrical trailers, as well as a trailer and TV spot from the US release of the film under the alternate title, Hammer of God. Nice inclusions as always. Overall, 88 Films' release of the Chinese boxer is a fantastic pick for our first Region A Kung Fu release. The movie looks great, and the included supplements are a nice addition to the collection. The film itself is a must-watch for anyone interested in the industry or anyone looking for a blast of over-the-top bloody action. With that said, thanks so much for joining me here on Pajama Theater. Let me know your thoughts below on the Chinese boxer, or what you'd like to see a review of next. Subscribe to the channel for more boutique Blu-ray releases, and I'll see you guys next time.